Hey guys. So yeah, this part two. Sorry. That's why I got a lot to say to y'all. That's why I had to do two parts of the video. But y'all know I don't know how do this YouTube stuff. I just I'm venting. I'm not venting. This is my therapy. I'm just giving it, sharing it with y'all. Hopefully it gets somewhere. But anyway, remember I was saying you be in church, like this is what they're saying, and this is what God means by the peace that surpasses all understanding. And you wonder why you still wandering around chasing that peace that surpasses all understanding. I went to church, oh my God, I gotta go back to church because Pastor gotta give me some more because I don't know why I messed up this week, or where that peace that I'm trying to get, and all this and that. And even when you feel like you got that peace, it's really still not that peace, because you still find yourself getting upset at things, angry at things, people still offend you. So you're not in that peace yet. You have not awakened yet. The peace that surpasses all understanding is the peace when you are fully conscious and you are aware of the egos that run this world, that run you, and you don't let it affect you. You are unbothered. This is what the Buddha meant. This is what Buddha means, the enlightened one. You're so chill. You're zen. Like, that's why it's very good to meditate. That's why I started meditating. You just want to quiet your mind, and you want to understand. What's going on around you fully, and this is how you get it. So that's the peace that surpasses all understanding. It's when you realize that egos drive us, and understand what your ego is, and what everybody else's ego is, and your pain bodies, and just understand you as a human being, as a spirit. You'll understand how to turn your mind off and quiet it so that nothing bothers you. It's a story in here about a monk in China where every time something happens to him, whether it be good or bad, he would just say, "Is that so? Is that so?" Whether it be good or bad, because nothing moved him. His attitude didn't sway happy or sad, because he knew it was only for a moment. Everything in this life is short moments. And once we realize that, and we're present in that, we can understand that, yes, although we're sad right now, this too shall pass. It's a moment in time. It's not your life. It's not your story. It's not who you are. So you're able to move on faster past it. But anyway, I want to read this dialogue to you guys. I'm trying to get. Okay, now go. Bye. I'm trying to read this story. All right. So let me go to the dialogue. Let me hurry up because this thing. Okay. I'm getting there, guys. Okay. A dialogue or inner purpose. So, the following dialogue condenses numerous conversations I have had with people who were looking for their true life purpose. This is Eckhart Tolle telling us, about his patients. Something is true when it resonates with and expresses your innermost being. When it is in alignment with your inner purpose, this is why I'm directing their attention to their inner and primary purpose first. You want to in is what we work from, inner. So this is what the patient says. I don't know exactly what it is, but I want some change in my life. I want expansion. I want to be doing something meaningful. And yes, I want prosperity and the freedom that comes with it. I want to do something significant, something that makes a difference in the world. But if you ask me what exactly I want, I would have to say that I don't know. Can you help me find my life purpose? Your purpose is to sit here and talk to me, because that's where you are and that's what you are doing. Until you get up and do something else, then that becomes your purpose. Remember I said live moment by moment? So my purpose is to sit in my office for the next 30 years until I retire or get laid off. You are not in your office now, so that's not your purpose. When you do sit in your office and do whatever you do, then that is your purpose. Not for the next 30 years, but for now. I think there's a misunderstanding here. For you, purpose means what are you doing now? For me, it means having an overall aim in life. Something big and significant that gives meaning to what I do. Something that makes a difference. Shuffling papers in the office is not it. I know that. This is how we sound, all frustrated. This is Eckhart. As long as you are unaware of being, you will seek meaning only within the dimension of doing and of future, that is to say, the dimension of time. And whatever meaning or fulfillment you find will dissolve or turn out to have been a deception. Invariably, it will be destroyed by time. Any meaning we find on that level is true only relatively and temporarily. For example, if caring for your children gives meaning to your life, what happens to that meaning when they don't need you and perhaps don't even listen to you anymore? If helping others gives meaning to your life, you depend on others being worse off than yourself so that your life can continue to be meaningful and you can feel good about yourself. If the desire to excel, win, or succeed at this or that activity provides you with meaning, what if you never win or your winning streak comes to an end one day, as it will? You would then have to look to your imagination or memories, a very unsatisfactory place to bring some meaning. A very unsatisfactory place to bring some meager meaning into your life, making it, sorry guys, lost my page. Oh no, I lost my page. Oh, this is crazy. Okay. Making it, because I went to go like this, because it's quotation marks in here. Making it in whatever field is only meaningful as long as there are thousands or millions of others who don't make it. So you need other human beings to fail so that your life can have meaning. I'm not saying here that helping others, caring for your children, or striving for excellence in whatever field or are not worthwhile things to do. For many people, they are an important part of their outer purpose. But outer purpose alone is always relative, unstable, and impermanent. This does not mean that you should not be engaged in those activities. It means you should not connect them to your inner primary purpose so that a deeper meaning flows into what you do. Without living in alignment with your primary purpose, whatever purpose you come up with, even if it is to create heaven on earth, will be for the ego or become destroyed by time. Sooner or later, it will lead to suffering. If you ignore your inner purpose, no matter what you do, even if it looks spiritual, the ego will creep into how you do it, and so the means will corrupt the end. The common saying, the road to hell is paved with good intentions, points to this truth. In other words, not your aims or your actions are primary, but the state of consciousness out of which they come. That's primary. Fulfilling your primary purpose is laying the foundation for a new reality, a new earth. Once that foundation is there, your external purpose becomes charged with spiritual power because your aims and intentions will be one with the evolutionary impulse of the universe, meaning you're flowing with it. You're going with the flow of the universe, not working against it, how we all were raised unconsciously, or we were raised that way. Not nobody's fault, guys. So I want to skip a couple of these paragraphs, and I want to go back to what the patient, because the patient had some good things she was saying. So, okay, I want to start here. So when you look upon what you do or where you are as the main purpose of your life, you negate time. This is enormously empowering. The negation of time in what you do also provides the link between your inner and outer purposes, between being and doing. When you negate time, you negate the ego. Whatever you do, you will be doing extraordinarily well, because the doing itself becomes from the focal point of your attention. Your doing then becomes a channel through which consciousness enters this world. This means there is a quality in what you do, even in the most simple action like turning the pages in the phone book or walking across the room. The main purpose for turning the pages is to turn the pages. The secondary purpose is to find a phone number. Because I need to tell you about the secondary and primary purpose. See, this is what he's talking about, so you can understand secondary and primary purposes. The separation of thinking and awareness, which lies at the core of your primary purpose, happens through the negation of time. We are not speaking here, of course, of the use of time for practical purposes, such as making an appointment or planning a trip. We are not speaking of clock time, but of physiological time, which is the mind's deep-seated habit of seeking fulfillment of life in the future, where it cannot be found, and ignoring the only point of access to it, the present moment. Okay, so that's why I say when you look upon what you do or where you are as the main purpose of your life, you negate time. This is enormously empowering. Okay, so this is what it's saying, that the main purpose of turning the page is to turn the page. The secondary purpose is to find a phone number. The main purpose for walking across the room is to walk across the room. The secondary purpose is to pick up a book at the other end. And the moment you pick up the book, that becomes your main purpose. You may remember the paradox of time we mentioned earlier. Whatever you do takes time, and yet it is always now. So while your inner purpose is to negate time, your outer purpose necessarily involves future, and so could not exist without time, but it is always secondary. Whenever you become anxious or stressed, outer purpose has taken over, and you lost sight of your inner purpose. You have forgotten that your state of consciousness is primary, all else is secondary. This is the client again. Would living like this not stop me from looking to achieve something great? My fear is that I will remain stuck with doing little things for the rest of my life, things that are of no consequence. I'm afraid of never rising above mediocrity, never daring to achieve anything great, not fulfilling my potential. This is what Eckhart said today. The great arises out of small things that are honored and cared for. Everybody's life really consists of small things. Greatness is a mental abstraction of a favorite fantasy of the ego. The paradox is the foundation for greatness, is honoring the small things of the present moment instead of pursuing the idea of greatness. The present moment is always small in the sense that it is always simple, but concealed within it lies the greatest power. Like the atom, it is one of the smallest things that contains enormous power. Only when you align yourself with the present moment do you have access to the power. Or it may be more true to say that it then has access to you, and through you to this world. Jesus was referring to this power when he said, "It is not I, but the Father within me who does the works. And I and I can of my own self do nothing. Anxiety, stress, and negativity cut you off from the power. The illusion that you are separate from the power that runs the universe returns. You feel yourself to be alone again, struggling against something or trying to achieve this or that. But why did anxiety, stress, or negativity arise? Because you turned away from the present moment. And why did you do that? You thought something else was more important. You forgot your main purpose. One small error, one misperception creates a world of suffering. Through the present moment, you have access to the power of life itself, that which has traditionally been called God. As soon as you turn away from it, God ceases to be a reality in your life, and all you are left with is the mental concept of God, which some people believe and others deny. Even belief in God is only a poor substitute for the living reality of God manifesting every moment of your life. Would complete harmony with the present moment not imply the cessation of all movement? Doesn't the existence of any goal imply that there is a temporary disruption in the harmony with the present moment and perhaps a reestablishment of harmony at a higher or more complex level once the goal has been attained? I imagine that sapling that pushes its way through the soil can't be in total harmony with the present moment either because can't be in total harmony with the present moment either because it has a goal. It wants to become a big tree. Maybe once it has reached maturity, it will live in harmony with the present moment. So she's still trying to figure out, like, okay, you still saying like just to chill and be still and things will line up, but she's saying like the sapling that come out of a tree don't, it has a goal. So how you telling me I'm wrong for having a goal? And what Eckhart basically says, because I'm gonna stop right here, but what Eckhart basically is saying is this: a sapling doesn't want anything because it is at one with the totality, and the totality acts through it. Look at the lilies of the field, how they grow, said Jesus. They toil not, neither do they spin. Yet even Solomon in all his glory was not arrayed like one of these. We would say the totality life wants the sapling to become a tree, but the sapling doesn't see itself as separate from life, and so wants nothing for itself. It is one with life, with what life wants. That's why it isn't worry or stress. And if it has to die prematurely, it dies with ease. It is as surrendered in death as it is in life. It senses no matter how obscurely its rootness in being, the formless and eternal one life. So what Eckhart is saying right now, I feel like I'm gonna stop right here because sometimes I had to go back and reread these. It can get really confusing at times. You want to make sure you're understanding what you're reading and what you're saying and what I'm saying and what you're going to be reading and then taking from this book. But basically, what Eckhart Tolle is saying is like, yes, have goals, want more in life. It's nothing wrong with having goals and stuff like that. But what he's saying is why you have these goals, live in the present moment and do each thing with like as much enthusiasm as you will when you get to your end goal, because that's how things just flow with the universe. So as you're doing these things with the best of your ability, like with your, not the best of your ability, but at peace and at one with what you're doing, it all aligns up. So you don't have to like feel like you got to go home and think of a strategy on how to get this promotion and get this deal and do this. It's all going to line up because you're going with the flow. You're aligning each moment with each moment with each moment. You're not trying to jump ahead and shake things up out of the cycle that it already was in. And all that consists of is us just getting up every day, accepting what is, and you go. If I get up, now I want to get up and just walk straight to the couch and sit down. But if I get up and hit my toe on the way there, drop my juice, that was supposed to happen. It's just for me to just say, ouch, I hit my toe, feel that pain, acknowledge that pain, it hurts. Get the napkin, wipe the juice up, pour more juice, and go sit down. That's it. Feel no emotion towards that. That was supposed to happen. It was already written. What are we fighting for? Why are we mad at things that are already written? And that's basically what Eckhart Tolle is trying to get us to understand, is what becoming aware and awakened is, and how we get rid of our pain bodies and that stress and anxiety. We roll. We roll. Because whether we roll willingly or unwillingly, it's happening. I was going to drop my juice and stomp my toe. Either way. Get upset, waste time, waste energy. Stress out, get a headache. Or just clean the juice. Hold your toe and go sit down. This too shall pass. Love you guys.